Alright, so this is this is called again? Takachiho. So now we're gonna go on the boat ride of the Takachiho Gorge. So a little bit of history about how this gorge was made. It was made from there's a mountain. Mount Aso is nearby here. Okay, so there's a mountain in Kumamoto Prefecture called Mount Aso, and it's been quite active recently too. But I guess many years ago it erupted. When did it erupt? Hundreds of years ago. So hundreds of years ago it erupted, and that's what created this gorge. So we can see there's a difference in the rock formations from the top to the bottom. So the top part of this gorge was created 90,000 years ago. And then the second part here, you can see, this was created 120,000 years ago. And below the water where we can't see, there's two more, I guess, gradations of the rock formations. The next one is 140 years ago. so we came to a spot. It's got a little bit of history. It's a small pond, but the guide is going to tell us a little bit about the story of this pond. お願いします。
お願いします。こちらに見えてますのがおのころ池と言いまして、真ん中にですね、ちょっと島のようになってますね。こちらおのころ島と言います。この池についてなんですけれども、昔ですね、神話の頃に夫婦の神様、イザナギの御事様、イザナミの御事様が、まだ日本も何もなかった頃、この地に降りられて、ここから日本を作っていったと、国海神話というんですけれども、そういった神話が残っています。はい、その一つですね。で、国海神話というのは日本の各地に伝承されておりまして、高千穂にもその神話が伝わっています。で、ここですね、高千穂神社さんという神社が春のお祭りになると、ここまでおみこしを持ってこられて、水の中を歩いておみこしが回りますので、ぜひ春のお祭りの時には来られてください。
その中に入るんだ。
水の中に入ります。
Okay, so there is a legend about this pond. 池の名前何でしたっけ？
おのころ池。
So this is called Onokoro Pond, and the legend of it is that there were two gods. They were a couple, Izanagi to Izanami, and they came down from heaven, and they stirred. They had a magic wand or something, and they stirred the wand in this pond, and that is where Japan was created. But there are many stories about this in different parts of Japan, so it'd be interesting to check all the spots, and then you can decide for yourself which one is the correct, which spot. You can see in the middle of the pond, there's like a small little island. Looks like a small island. これは
おのころ島、おのころアイランド。
So this island is called Onokoro Island. I guess it's very holy. So in the springtime, if you come here, they have a festival where they carry a omikoshi, which is like a shrine that people will carry with their hands on their shoulders. And they'll come from the town all the way down here, and they actually get into the pond, and they do a march around the pond with the omikoshi. So that could be a very interesting thing to check out in the springtime. Okay, so we came to a famous spot with three bridges. We're going to get a quick explanation about these bridges now.
はい、あちらに見えてますのが高千穂桟橋、高千穂フェイブリッジズで、一番低い場所にあるものがですね、あれが約100年前、はい、1912年から1926年の間、日本でいう大正時代にできたもの。
Okay.
で、2段目、先にじゃあ。
Yeah. So the smallest bridge you can see under there, that was built in the Taisho era. That was about 100 years ago. Started in 1912 to いつでしたっけ？
1926年。
To 1926. So that bridge is about 100 years old.
で、2段目がですね、2番目に高いのが、手前には見えてますけど、青みがかった橋。あちらが、高千穂大橋というんですけれども、はい、あちらがですね、1955年に作られた橋ですね。
Okay, so the second bridge you see on with the arch, that bridge was built in 1950, 55. 1955. So yeah, over 50 years old. So that's the second generation bridge, and there's one more in the back.
一番奥に見えてます。あちらが一番高さが高い新しい橋なんですけれども、新都高千穂大橋というんですが、はい、あちらがですね、2003年に、はい、作られています。一番新しい橋ですね。
So the last one and the highest one you can see very far in the back there. That one was built in 2003. So it's the most recent. So we can see, yeah, the difference of the generations and the skills that they use to build bridges. I personally like the old one the best. なんか一番古いやつが一番綺麗ですよね。
そうですね。で、一番古いものから、お名前、新橋、神の橋とかで、新橋。で、高千穂大橋、一番上の新と高千穂大橋と ていくんですが、
はい。The oldest bridge is called God's Bridge. 新橋。It's called 新橋。
で、この橋見てもらうと、すべて下がアーチ。アーチの橋になります。で、
はい
3つのアーチの橋が、一度に見える、一度の同じ場所から見えるのは、日本ではここだけとされています。
Oh, okay. So very interesting. As we can see, each bridge has an arch. And this is the only spot in Japan, maybe in the whole world, that you can see 3 bridges with arches at the same time. So we can see from here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's actually quite architecturally beautiful. 本当だ、面白い。なんか多分世界でここでしか見れないかもしれない。
世界でも珍しいと思います。
珍しいと思う。Yeah, that's a very rare, unique view. I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah, it's really nice. この橋は何だろう。
槍飛び橋って言ってですね、槍ですね。スピア
Spear fishing.
飛ぶフライ
ああ。
で、なんで槍飛び橋っていうかというと、昔はここはもう橋かかってなかったので、
はい。
でここ下が川なんですけど、
はい。
でこの高千穂峡の川の中で一番幅が狭い場所なんですね。
はい。
はい。昔ですね、本当昔に高千穂を治めてた高千穂の領主さんって言って、
フィッシャーマン。
ではないんですけど、なんて言えばいいのかな、領主さん。
領主。
ちょっと例えると難しいんですけど、戦国時代とかでいうその土地の偉い人、
Okay.
その土地を治めてた偉い人たち
はい。
が、大分からの武家の人たちに攻め落とされたんですね。高千穂のその当時の偉い人たちが。
はい。
で、その人たちが、逃げてきたんですけど、
はい。
ここ橋はかかってないので、槍をついて棒高跳びのようにこう飛んでいった。
槍はスピアのこと？
スピア。
ああ、OK。へえ。オリンピックでするやつみたいな。
棒高跳びみたいな。
はあ。
で、飛んでいったっていう話が残ってます。
なるほど。面白い。Yeah, so I heard an interesting story about this. This bridge is called Yari Tobibashi. And what that means is jumping with a spear. So the history of it was, I forget the name, but there was like some Erai-san, like a hierarchy, I guess, person in the kingdom, and they were having some war, and then they were escaping from the enemies. And this part of the river, as you can see, it's quite narrow. It's the most narrow part of this river. So in the story, of course, this bridge wasn't here back in those days. So to escape from their enemies, they came here, and the story is that they jumped across this gorge with their spears. And that's why it's called Yari Tobibashi. That's what Yari Tobibashi means, to jump across with a spear. Yeah, you can see it's actually not very wide at all. But I wouldn't try it. That's why they built this bridge here. 面白い話。確かに結構狭い。
ここが一番この川の中で狭い場所。
The narrowest spot of the river. So I want to add something a little bit funny to the story I just heard. There's a sign over here after I crossed the bridge. And it's only in Japanese, but it says the story of the soldiers they jumped across with the spear. But it says that most of them fell. They didn't make it across and they fell into the river and they died. That's not funny. I shouldn't be laughing, but I thought I should add that. Yeah, it's quite sad, but a bit funny too. Anyway, that's all.